was reborn at the exact moment I picked up the wrong glass, the one meant for my boss. This time, I didn't take the wrong glass. I watched him drink it down, then dial the woman he truly loved, Celeste. In my past life, I was Dominic's secretary, and I fell in love with him. When the drug hit my system, I didn't care that he needed to get to Celeste. I grabbed his belt and made him stay. Not long after, I found out I was pregnant. Dominic was forced to marry me. But on the day I went into labor with complications, he got the news Celeste had thrown herself off a building, destroyed by grief. He stormed into the delivery room and sent the doctors away. Then he watched me die. The last thing I heard was his voice. If you hadn't gotten pregnant, I never would have been forced to marry you. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back on the day I was poisoned. Iris, call Celeste right now. Hearing that familiar command again, I jolted awake. I'd been reborn. Without hesitation, I grabbed my phone and dialed Celeste's number. Dominic's face was flushed, his eyes burning with desire. The drug was kicking in. This time, I watched coldly as he downed the entire glass. As the drug began to take hold, and he looked at me with struggling, hazy eyes, I quickly finished dialing Celeste. Dominic, just hang on. Celeste will be here in 10 minutes. The moment I closed the door behind me, I thought I heard him call my name, but I pretended not to hear. I shut the door firmly and waited at the end of the hallway. 10 minutes later, Celeste arrived in a rush. She looked at me with a complicated expression. When she saw that my clothes were intact and I was perfectly composed, relief washed over her face. Before pushing open the door, she glanced at me. You can leave now. I don't need you here. I turned and took the elevator down, called a car, and went back to my apartment. The next morning, Celeste appeared in the executive office. Dominic lifted his coffee, took a sip, then casually announced to the core management team, "From now on, Celeste is my fiancée. She's also an important future partner for the company. You will all treat her with respect." Then he looked directly at me, pointing with his pen. "Especially you, Iris." I nodded blankly. Celeste smirked, flashing me a triumphant smile. I pretended not to notice. I gathered the meeting notes and started to leave the office. But just as I stood up, I heard Celeste's voice, soft and wounded. "Dominic, does Iris not want me involved in company affairs? I know how important she is to you. If she's unhappy with me being here, maybe I shouldn't come to the office anymore." Her eyes glistened with tears. She looked as pitiful as possible. Dominic frowned. Before he could say anything, I replied, "Of course not. But if you're not satisfied with me, I'll make sure to stay out of your sight from now on." Without waiting for Dominic's reaction, I walked straight back to my office. Half an hour later, my office door swung open, and there he was, Dominic, staring at me with dark, stormy eyes. Instinctively, I wanted to close the door. I didn't want to deal with him, but Dominic blocked it with his arm, frowning as he looked at me. "Are you avoiding me? Why?" He leaned in closer, studying my face. "Are you upset? Because of Celeste?" I quickly shook my head. "No, I'm happy for you. You and Celeste finally get to be together." His eyes flickered with something unreadable. He seemed dissatisfied with my answer. "Is that the truth? Or are you just being passive-aggressive?" Then he scoffed. "Iris, don't tell me you still haven't gotten over me. 3 years ago at the company party, you kissed me when you were drunk. You think I didn't notice? The smartest thing you ever did was never confess. Because if you had, I would have laughed in your face. Laughed at how pathetic and delusional you are." He chuckled to himself, then walked over to my desk and yanked open the bottom drawer. He grabbed a thick stack of printed journal pages and scattered them across the floor, stepping on them. He leaned down close to my ear, his voice low. "I came here to tell you something. Yesterday, when I drank that wine, I saw the look in your eyes. You wanted to be the one to help me, didn't you? Thank God you didn't. Because if you had, I would have been disgusted for the rest of my life. You're not worth it." My heart clenched painfully. Even though I decided not to love him in this life, hearing those cruel words still hurt. After warning me to stay away from him and not make Celeste uncomfortable,